I'm in New York, and this should be short, if not so sweet. We've now finished the first week of the Donald Trump presidency, and all our worst fears are confirmed. The people around him obviously consist of a coterie of no minds and numbskulls with the occasional nut bar involved, and they are all collectively determined to implement the most ludicrous aspects of the Donald Trump presidential campaign. So one day we get the announcement of the wall, and the next day we get the announcement of renegotiating the North American Free Trade Agreement without Canada or Mexico genuinely engaged, neither country knowing what to expect. And the next day, numbers of refugees are to be denied entry into the United States, a direct attack on Muslims. And the next day, Obamacare is put on the block. And the next day, it's the gag rule, a rule designed to prevent the access to abortion in as many countries as possible around the world. A gag rule that came into place within 48 hours of the greatest women's march in human history, the one ray of hope towards a gathering resistance. And now they're discussing thoughts and approaches and announcements which really make you wonder about the levels of stupefying ignorance. They say they're not going to fund organizations that support the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, but that's been American policy for years. They say they're not going to fund the International Criminal Court, but they've never been a member of the court, so there's nothing to defund. They say they're going to review the Convention on the Rights of the Child, but the United States is the only country on the planet which has never ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child, so there's nothing to review. It's almost incomprehensible to imagine these people in power in what is the greatest power in the world, although soon to be eclipsed by China. And it is no wonder, in the midst of all this irresponsible fecklessness, that the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which monitors the doomsday clock, indicates that the clock is now closer to midnight than at any time in the last 62 years. You know, I've done more than 100 of these commentaries, and I think you'll agree, I'm never at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.